This is for the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And this is For the Players, the pop culturist PlayStation podcast. Over 40 years of playing PlayStation and 5+ years in that games community combined. I'd like to thank you for joining us in this PlayStation conversation.
This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Spotify, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join in that PlayStation conversation, head on over to our Facebook, Discord, Twitter, Instagram, all the links in the description below.
If you want to join that PlayStation conversation, head over to twitch.tv/thepopculturist on a Saturday afternoon at 4 p.m, except for when I have to do things like possibly next Sunday. And we're going to have to talk about that.
That's right.
This is attempt number 5 of the intro because things just keep getting crazy. But you can join us as we watch us record this show live. It used to be behind our Patreon wall. That's patreon.com/thepopculturist, which you can support us if you're ever so inclined. Bunch of goals there. But we thought, nothing goes behind that paywall anymore. So that's right. You can go support us with some dollar dues, but no rewards. It's all up to you. If you want to support us in a more one-off fashion, head over to popculturist.com/shop. We can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. If you are listening to us on your podcast services, be sure to give us some 5-star reviews. Some, what are those other things? The 5 stars is the reviews. There's something else. I think it's called like sharing it and shit. If you do that, it'd be much appreciated because the competition this week got noticeably higher, Max. Within this 1 week, a new PlayStation podcast came in the mix here in Australia. And like we didn't even have we weren't even on like the the podium at the Olympics, the 3.
Yeah,
we were just touching it, and then they came in and they were like, "Fuck off!" And they we got dethroned instantly. So our good friends Dash and Paul did also join the PlayStation conversation this week with Operation PlayStation. Congratulations to them. If you want more PlayStation in your week and you enjoy this one, like I need some more, go check them out. Go give them a download.
Watch some people who can nail their intro on their first shot.
Probably. They've done a lot less than us, which makes it even more embarrassing for me. But, yeah, there you go. There we go. How you been, dude?
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah?
Not too bad.
Checking your watch already? Holy fuck.
Yeah, someone's calling me. It's all right. It's not important.
Oh, we're not starting again. We are not starting again.
It's only Mum. Yeah, not too bad. Got, like I said was saying in the chat earlier, my child decided to sleep for 10 hours straight last night, which was amazing.
Yeah.
So naturally, I did not sleep.
So I've had a very weird sleep the last couple of days. So like I've been trying to go to bed early. I've been trying to be better. So I've been going to bed at like 10-ish compared to the normal like midnighty that I normally go to bed. But my body clock is obviously just stuffed. Because then I wake up at 4 because I normally get up at 6. So I have a 6 hours sleep is my normal number. So now I'm getting up at 4, just been like, what the fuck? And then I end up like having a pee, and then I lie down, and I never quite really get back to sleep. And
Yeah.
3 days now. It's killing me. Probably why I had a nap.
Oh, you got to take it where you can get it.
Yeah. Which is fine. Like, normally I'm used to having like tight sleep and then going to work. So let's get like a little bit extra sleep, which is not too bad. But, It's look, I had a nap before this. I'm really groggy. I really shouldn't. I had a nap. It was about an hour. I woke up, went, I'm hungry. I ate Pringles. I played GTA for about 10 minutes. I bought an arcade, and then I'm in here.
Sounds like a solid day.
It's been a chaos of morning.
Chaos of a morning.
Yeah. What have you been playing?
I dove back into Bloodborne. Got 2 trophies left to hit the platinum. So I'm going to try and
Holy shit, what are those last 2?
I'm going to try and slog that out over the next week. I need to collect all weapons, so that'll be pretty easy.
Does it give you a counter of how many you have? Or do you have to like...
I'll just tick them off.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Smart, cool.
And the last one is defeat named boss in rando dungeon. Because Bloodborne's got the randomly generated dungeons.
Yep.
So I have to do one to get to the next one. So I got about 6 or 7 dungeons to do to get to the boss that I need. So that'll take me. That'll be a bit.
Well, having it be random is gonna be a bit of a killer.
Be a bit of a slog.
Yeah, but then it could be the first one you do.
Yeah. Oh, it'll definitely be the last one because I've got to progress through them to get the upgraded chalices to make the new dungeons.
Oh,
so I have to do them in order. They're just randomly generated, so like they could be really hard. They could be super easy. Just depends.
Not too bad. Do you reckon you'll have it by next week?
Yeah, hopefully.
Right.
Hopefully. Apart from that, played a little bit more Escape from Tarkov, a little bit more GTFO, a lot more League of Legends, a lot of phone games, because now that I got a kid, I just play on my phone all the time.
Because that's how my list works.
Giving Blizzard my Hearthstone money.
Well, it's like now that now you got a kid. I'm like, I played Duck Game again like 5 times this week. Played some Paw Patrol again this week. I played Patapon this morning because he was like, "Daddy, play Patapon." I'm like, I don't want to play Patapon.
You're like, can I play something else?
Can I do anything else? There's no Patapon. So we played Patapon. We played like one level and he's like, cool. And then pissed off. Well, I played a couple more levels. So I'm at like a couple more levels higher than I was before. Last week when we did our review, I've unlocked some more Patapon. I've got these big burly like fucking dudes now. So I've got a sword and shield collective. I've got like a spear collective. I've got a horsey collective. I've got an arrow collective, and I got the big like fuck off big heavy dudes, some big tanks. Oh, yeah. Dash goes, you bought an arcade? Yes, I did. I bought an arcade in GTA 5, as I mentioned, because I want to start doing the casino heist. Now I've done them with you a handful of times, and there's some good dollary dudes in there.
Yeah. For pretty little work. Like, it doesn't take too long. No,
and seeing as they gave away $1 million this week in the game just by playing it. So I was like, sweet, all right.
And they're doing it again this week. So if you log in again within the next week, you'll get another $3 million.
Yeah, and I'll just use that to deck out my arcade. Because depending on what the costs are to sort of get ready for the heist, that'll help with that. It could because as you said, the arcades make money in the game as well. I don't know how much money, but I guess if you add some, it's at least some income. So I'll probably do that. Yeah. So I'm pretty keen to do it. Can I do the setups by myself?
You can. They just all setups can be done solo, but the ones that are like collect 2 cars, it's just going to take twice as long. Because you got to go get 1 car, take it back to your arcade, go back, get the other car, bring it back to your arcade.
Well, at least
like it is doable. It just takes a little bit longer.
Well, at least the one that I brought was near, like, town. Like, unlike yours was in the middle of F knows where. So I've got the one that's a bit closer, which I think you end up buying anyway.
Yeah, I ended up trading mine in.
And it's right near the casino, so that works out handy too, which is cool. So we probably spend some time with that. Spend a little bit more time in Doom. Just a little bit further. It's a challenge that you seem to have been avoiding.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not happening.
That's fine.
I did download Wolfenstein Youngblood, though.
Why?
Just to see why it's so bad.
It is bummed.
It's also free at the moment.
Yeah, it's on Games Pass, isn't it? Yeah. Well, it's been pretty patched since I played it at launch anyway. I think I played pre-launch, actually. Either way, it was bumhole. And I went back to Horizon Zero Dawn this week. Something I said I did like 4 weeks ago. I finally did it. I finally sat down. I booted up on stream, started from scratch. That game is so gorgeous. I just forgot how good looking it is. It plays well. It's just, I'm keen to just sit and just chip away at it again. Because like up until I guess next week, there's nothing for us to play. Like Dreams is coming next week. We'll probably jump on. I know it might come our way launch day, perhaps, maybe a day or so before. Because I know if you bought it in early access, you get a couple days early.
3 days early.
So I'm gonna say we're probably gonna get it that day, presumably. But until then, I'm just gonna fucking chill.
Yeah, I'm the same. Nothing's really tickling my fancy at the moment. I'll keep working away at that Bloodborne plat. It'd be a nice one to have. Some bragging rights.
Yeah, when we stream again this week, you free Thursday? Finally get the tools up?
Yeah, I should be. I've been trying to work on my sleeping pattern all last week. I went to bed at like 6 o'clock at night. But yeah, I should be right this Thursday.
Yeah, I'm keen to push for that trophy. But anyways, let's get into the section we call Inform the Players, where we tell you about what happened this week in PlayStation.
Since we were talking about Dreams, let's kick it off with some Dreams
Yeah,
marketing.
man. Good. Let's get in there.
So, some people on the internet will try and tell you that Sony is sending out Media Molecule's Dreams to die without even a hint of any marketing. That's not entirely the case, however, as the hardware manufacturer has released yet another trailer, which highlights the sort of incredible creations users have been able to come up with during its early access phase. The 30-second clip focuses on Dream sculptor Man Chicken Turtle, who has brought together a series of 7 cutesy levels which makes up an entire campaign. The trailer even invites future users to create remixes of its stages, promoting the collaborative aspect of the title. It's incredibly cool to see Sony making official trailers out of the creations users have made in Dreams. It is, after all, the experience's biggest selling point. Don't forget that if you own the early access version of the game, you will be able to play it early on the 11th of Feb, 3 days before its release date.
What's your stance on Dreams? 'Cause I don't think we've spoken about it since you've jumped on the show.
So, in theory, Dreams is really cool. I don't think I have the creativity to make stuff, but I would love to play stuff that other people have made, because people have made will be able to make some crazy stuff.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat, dude. Like, I am not that kind of artistically minded. Excuse me. So I don't think I'd be able to deliver some of the awesome stuff. Now, I've digged about in Dreams, like packs and stuff, and I really enjoyed the potential of what it is. I was very disheartened by all the copyright infringement that we've been seeing.
Yeah, I mean,
But
that's to be expected, though.
saying that, though, with the likes of the Impies recently, which was the award ceremony for all the content, all the creators within Dreams to sort of bring the best to the top. That has me excited, because obviously they're not going to award, trademark infringy stuff in this award ceremony. So as we approach the release date, I'm going to take a look at that list and then probably give them all a go, because there is the campaign in Dreams as well. So we have to give it.
I saw that was only about 3 to 4 hours, though.
That's fine, easy
Pretty
pull.
short.
Yeah, and then you'll be able to go and then start sampling the cool things around. I would like to make this set in Dreams. That'd be fun. And then maybe do an entire show in Dreams.
How do you know this isn't a dream right now? You could still be asleep on the couch.
I probably am on the couch right now. It wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, no, like Dreams to me is almost like a car crash.
Okay.
As in, like, ooh, I can't look away at this. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know if anyone's alive in there.
Well, apparently it's pretty robust, so it should be good.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to...
It just depends on how easy, like the ease of use of it, like how easy it is to use the tools that are implemented
so
and whatnot.
Yeah, from the demonstration I saw at PAX Australia... Was it last year or the year before? No, it was the year before. Holy shit, 2 years ago. It did seem relatively straightforward. However, the gentleman that was running it was also a dev at a Media Molecule. So for him, it's just like this. And I guess for me, it'd be like, But I think there is some great potential with Dreams, and I can't wait to check it out personally.
Yeah, I'm pretty keen to check it out, actually. It's I must admit, it sat in my cart for the longest time going, do I want to buy into, early access? Mm-hmm. Then my whole, I hate buying into early access things. So it kind of just sat in there, and then it disappeared out of my cart when they took it off the store. The
big difference is this early access isn't the regular early access.
Yeah, I understand.
Like, this was coming. Unlike, other games where, I think, was one example, the one that just never sort of got any further.
Heaps.
Yeah, almost all of them. Like, on Steam, there's a bunch of early access games.
I think DayZ's still in early access.
Yeah, like Fortnite's still in early access, apparently. Yeah, but it'd just be like a situation of this will come to full release one day because it being a PlayStation first party title.
Speaking of PlayStation first parties.
Oh, nice.
Sony has shut down its Manchester studio before it even had the opportunity to announce a single game. The virtual reality-based developer was formed in 2015 and was working on an unannounced project, but the Japanese giant has decided to call time on the team as part of our efforts to improve efficiency and operational effectiveness. According to GamesIndustry.biz, the entire group has been made redundant. Of course, British developers under the PlayStation umbrella haven't had much luck in recent years, with Studio Liverpool, Guerrilla Cambridge, Big Studios, and Evolution Studios all closing over the past decade, Blood and Truth creator, London studio, and Dreams maker Media Molecule remain strong, but it's been a rough period for the UK industry. We can't help but wonder what today's news means for PlayStation VR moving forward either.
I certainly don't think this is a negative for PlayStation VR.
No, I mean, realistically, as far as everyone else knows, a studio got cancelled that had never announced or released a game.
Yeah. So, but from what
I mean, obviously, it sucks for all the people who worked there that got made redundant.
did I say how many years it was been operating?
Since 2015.
So like 4 years? 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
I'd say just under 5 years. Look, that is a good development time. But I understand with VR, it's a bit more complicated, probably a bigger scope, because as I said, they were a VR studio. I do not see this as a shot with VR against VR. Maybe it's likely just a studio that they bought, put together, and then went, you got 5 years. Or in the 5 years that they've gone, all right, what have you got? Nothing. All right, well, or that looks like shithouse. Like, oh, how long will you need to get it fixed? Oh, another like 3 years. Like, no chance. You're done. Like,
Yeah,
so like Sony has a history of shutting down studios, as it says, with like Evolution, but Evolution died after the fumble of Drive Club. Big only really did like a handful of games anyway. Cambridge kind of got pushed into a tough spot by making Vita games and then making VR games, and like, it's almost like, well, they weren't successful enough. I was like, yeah, because you made us do these VR and Vita games. All right,
yeah.
you're stacked. So it's heartbreaking for everyone that worked there, obviously, but without knowing what they were working on, without any seeing what they were working on, it's tough to really feel anything, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty rough. I mean, obviously, it's always sad when people lose their jobs, especially after presumably working on something for 4 years that never came to fruition.
Do you think it says anything about VR?
Not really. I mean, obviously, with the London studio, with Blood and Truth, Blood and Wine on the brain, playing too much Witcher. Obviously, Blood and Truth did amazingly well last year, and I think they're just going to keep doing what they're doing. Yeah,
so like Studio London is being pushed towards that more VR angle, which is cool. So at least there's some third party, some first parties getting involved. Studio London, known best for like the Getaways back in PS2 days, done a bit here and there. I think if London, it could come down to they had Manchester, they had London, and London was delivering. These guys weren't. Why have two studios working on VR when you have one that's actually doing a good job?
It's probably the most likely scenario.
Yeah. It's fine. It's not horrible.
It's not horrible.
For us, because we didn't work there.
Let's talk more delays.
This is mostly sad for you.
So this is mostly sad for me. Fairy Tail, the upcoming turn-based role-playing game adapted from the manga and anime property of the same name, has been delayed. The colourful title was originally set to launch on the 19th of March, but due to developer desire to further enhance the game for a more enriching Fairy Tail experience, its release date has been pushed back to the 25th of June in Europe and the 26th of June in North America. It's probably a good thing, to be honest. I mean,
so Dash agrees with you. Sad day.
I mean, it's good. It was coming out right around like Persona 5 Royal, Doom Eternal, Neo 2, One Piece. They're all pretty...
I guess they're all probably in the same similar interests as well. Especially like One Piece and
Persona 5,
Rumble Royal.
Persona 5 Royal and One Piece coming out near it. It's probably a good idea for it to move away and, create its own name. Because it would get lost in that sea.
Well, because Fairy Tail... although you're a massive fan, you got a big tattoo on your back. What is the tattoo on your back?
It's the Fairy Tail logo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Big nerd.
Big old nerd.
Man, because you're a bit of an anime dork too, yeah?
Yeah, a little bit. I must admit I don't watch as much as I used to, but...
maybe I have to get you talking to Dash with his anime love. Maybe you guys can be anime friends.
Be anime friends?
But like the point I was getting at, like, is Fairy Tail huge? Is it a massive property?
Probably not here. I wouldn't say it's a huge. It's one. I'm pretty sure it's one of the Shonen Jumps. So similar to like your Naruto, your Bleach, your Dragon Ball Z.
I'm aware of them.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it falls in the same category as those, but I don't think it's probably as well known.
Okay.
It's definitely hasn't had as many seasons as all the... it's a massive property in Japan, not in the West.
Okay.
Says Dash.
Okay.
And yeah, that would...
So the devastation will mostly be eastbound and not really here or in the US.
Yeah, it's interesting that they've only delayed it. Well, they've only announced pushed release dates for Europe and North America, which probably means that
it's localization.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, look, I don't play a lot of those games personally, so I wouldn't even know even approximately how localization works. But if they're delaying it everywhere but the East, then that sounds like a localization issue.
Yeah. It's a bummer, but it's moved to a better time frame in my opinion. So
either that or the main development is taking longer than expected. So say localization requires 8 months. So if the main development requires longer, that 8 months then gets pushed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what's happened. So are you sad? Because
my stance on delays is still it's better to be delayed than release a game that's broken. I would prefer to wait than have my feelings and views tainted by an incomplete game on launch.
It's just tough because
delays are not the enemy.
I can't even just remotely care about this game. Like it's on the calendar, which I'm gonna have to change again. Mostly for you.
So if only you got like a whiteboard calendar as opposed to
that would have been a digital one.
A pen and paper.
A digital one would have been great.
Yeah.
I just can't work out how to integrate Google Calendar with things. It's a shame.
It is.
My incompetence ruining something again.
Moving on.
Like, I'm not gonna
love this fucking calendar. He brings it up every week, and every week it remained unchanged.
Dude, the calendar is getting reamed, man. I tried so hard to be prepared for this year. Tried so hard. It's getting bummed constantly. So
Rockstar has lost its co-founder.
Oh yeah.
Dan Houser, co-founder of Rockstar Games, will be leaving the company in March 2020. Take-Two document reveals. Houser and his brother Sam Houser have long been instrumental in shaping the developer's creative vision. Dan Houser, whose official titles include Vice President, is credited with being a writer on every single Grand Theft Auto title, as well as Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2. It's a significant departure in the sense that the Houser brothers have been part of the company since the beginning. We are extremely grateful for his contributions. Rockstar Games has built some of the most critically acclaimed and commercially successful games worldwide. A global community of passionate fans and incredibly talented teams which remains focused on current and future projects, reads the aforementioned document. Naturally, this announcement does raise a few questions. It's not so secret that Rockstar Games' attention has become somewhat divided between single-player offerings and online multiplayer experiences, especially following the gigantic success of GTA Online. Mm-hmm. Without Houser supposedly spearheading traditional campaigns, fans may be wondering whether we'll see the company commit even more resources to its online endeavors.
This is huge.
Please don't throw away stories.
No, this is absolutely huge. Like I remember, I think I read it when I woke up, and I woke up and went, I actively went, holy shit!
It's a very interesting time for a co-founder to back out of a company.
Yeah,
it's interesting. It would be interesting to know what his reasons were for leaving.
But once again, if he's been doing it since 1995 when GTA 1 came out, that is a long time to be spending with something. That's like 30 years. Wait, is it? Yeah, 25 years.
Close to.
25 years. I'm not very good at math. Yeah, so that's a long time to be working within one thing.
Money.
Yeah, and that's that Dash is a good point there too. He's been doing it for 25 years plus. He would have made so much money that maybe it come to like, well, I'm burnt out. I've done this a long time. I could have retired 10 years ago. I might as well do it now. Because it is interesting how these campaigns will alter in the future. Because from my understanding, it is primarily the houses and then anyone else that sort of comes in and assists.
Yeah.
Like their vision is pretty locked on there. But as the big spearheads of the company, if the company was to take this turn, it would be by their choice anyway. Unless the likes of Take-Two are pressuring them.
I can't see that happening with how successful they've been throughout.
Yeah.
I can't see Take-Two coming and going, you need to change everything up. Because GTA is still in the top sellers every month.
Yeah.
Like,
And Red Dead 2 was incredibly successful.
You know, they're obviously doing something right. Obviously, they've still got one of the brothers, so hopefully it'll keep continuing. I just hope, personally, that we don't lose that single player to the multiplayer.
I don't think we will. I think even though the success of the online portions, because even Red Dead Online hasn't been that successful, but everyone praises Red Dead 2's story.
We'll see. Red Dead Online had the same shaky start that GTA Online did.
That's very
like
true.
GTA Online was hot garbage at the start.
I couldn't even load in with.
It was just a mess. But now it's making bajillions of dollary-doos with their shark cards and.
I think it's unlikely we'll see the smaller games, you know, like the Bully 2 that's been in the works for, like, allegedly in the plans forever. You know, all these little side ones that people wanting to see more of. I think they're going to stick to the 10 poles, which will be your Grand Theft Autos and maybe Red Dead. But I don't think we'll see Red Dead for at least like fucking 10 years if we ever do, or if there's any more stories to tell. And maybe that's come to the point. Maybe. Dan's like, I've told all the stories that I can tell, and maybe it's more of a decision around in terms of creativity. You know? It's like, you've heard my voice for 25 years. Obviously, it's done well, but maybe it's time for a new voice. Because if you look at, you know, we're using example of, I know it's kind of not the same example, but it is like The Simpsons, right? The Simpsons has always had that sort of satirical nature on the world around them, but like, how long have they been tone deaf?
Yeah.
And that does come from the same writers. Like, granted, a lot of the writers eventually left at like season 10 or whatever, but like the people that remain, like they're not hitting what is currently relevant. And maybe he felt the same. Maybe he's like, well, where I am now, I cannot deliver what.
I mean, leaving at this point, he's definitely going out on a win. Like, It's not like they've delivered a subpar product and he's like, okay, now it's time for me to leave.
It's also very possible that maybe he's helped with the post-production the pre-production of 6, and he's like, and I'm out. Or he's leaving before it all begins, because, you know, he
doesn't want to get tied down for X amount of years.
Or the same goes, I mean, like Neil Druckmann, right? So he didn't want to get involved in Uncharted 4, so he did The Last of Us, and he wanted to like help but not sort of run the whole thing. But then when Amy Hennig got the boot, he ended up getting roped in and running the whole thing. And then he's run that, and there's The Last of Us, Uncharted 4, now we're doing The Last of Us Part 2. You know what I mean? So he didn't intend to be the creative director on all 3 titles, but he kind of got forced into the role. And once you're in that role, like if you're vice president, story writer, all these huge titles, if you get lumped in, you ain't getting out.
Yeah. And with the development cycle of Rockstar Games being almost generations long, I can see why, if he was ready to call it quits, he would do so before getting into another major title. Yeah.
If anything, this makes you want to rewatch that BBC little docuseries. Or docuseries? So there was a Daniel Radcliffe played one of the houses in this little 2-hour like sort of biopic about the production of GTA 3, I think. It's called Game Changers. Check it out.
Okay.
I watched it and I remember really enjoying it. It came out like 6 years ago. But yeah, I'm gonna watch it again, actually. I'm gonna watch it again. What's your stance on all this?
I mean, as long as we don't lose this single player story, I'm okay with it. I mean, everyone needs to move on at some point. He obviously thinks now's the time. Like I said, the timing seems a bit like before GTA 6 gets hardcore into production, if it's not already there. He obviously didn't want to get trapped in.
Yeah,
if he was close to being, okay, I've done this for X amount of years now. I've served my time.
Done my dues.
I'm ready to bounce and.
Well, yeah, because if it does take 5-6 years, I'm not sure how old Dan is, but maybe it's like, I want to chill. Like, I've made more money than I'll ever need in my life.
Yeah, I mean, he'd probably be getting residuals for the rest of his life anyway.
Yeah, and maybe like now that he's living that sweet high life that he makes the piss out of in GTA, so maybe he's disconnected from those satirical roots.
Maybe.
very possible. Next.
More Resi Evil rumors.
Woo!
Sourced once again from Rely on Horror, German outlet Games.de claims that Resident Evil 8 is due for release in 18 months to 2 years' time. It is set in Eastern Europe, much like Resident Evil 4, and uses the medieval time period as inspiration for its setting and enemy designs. Speaking of which, zombies will be equipped with armor fit for a knight and wield swords, while the action itself will be much more intense, akin to the Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Not a hero DLC. There's much more to this if you really wish to entertain yourself.
See, I put this in.
Okay, do I want knighted zombies with swords and
I don't unwant it.
Look, Resident Evil's hard enough when I've got a gun and they don't have weapons.
No, they have armor and shit.
They're like, 'tis but a flesh wound. They're all Monty
They
Python
start
on it.
dark souling us, and then they freaking.
Oh, nah.
Oh, Fluffman Dingus, here comes the Fluff. Hey, Fluffman. I put this in mostly as a follow-up to the Resident Evil chats we had last week, right? The possible leaks for Resident Evil 8. I like that they've mentioned here that it's going to be in the next 2 years or so, which is smart, especially when we've got Resident Evil 3 coming out this year and then Resistance sort of presumably taking up some time. And they're not like oversaturating Resident Evil. As I hiccup and burp a bunch of Pringles.
Isn't that
This
tied in with
is-
Resi 3?
Pardon? It is part of it, yeah, but I mean, like, because it's a multiplayer, it can extend that time a little bit. So, I like the setting. The setting sounds cool, because I enjoyed and loved Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
However, I agree with you, like, knighted up zombies is weird.
They're hard enough to kill without armor.
Yeah. And...
if it's just like thematically there, like full looks, sure.
Yeah.
I'm okay with having zombie knights.
The issue...
But if I can't shoot them in the head because they're wearing a bloody helmet with a visor, that's not okay.
The issue that I have is even... Because I guess like Resident Evil 4 was still relatively grounded, even though it was weird. Like Resident Evil 2 remake, because I've never played the original, very grounded, super weird. But every action that takes place comes from the T virus or the G virus, whatever. Like it's all grounded within science. It's not these mythical creatures. They are mythical creatures, but within the confines.
Well, I mean,
that.
the rumors that we shared last week was the new enemy type of the werewolf.
But maybe it's quote unquote werewolf. It's just a wolf that's got fucking zombie virus.
Zombie virus.
Oh, big shout out to Fluffman Dingus for the tier 1 sub. Thank you very much, sir. My name's a champion. You didn't mean to distract. No, I didn't even notice until right now, so it's all good. Big thank you.
Thank you
to
very
Fluffman
much,
Dingus. But yeah, so I think it's more of a wolf that had been affected. And that also...
So now I've just got in my mind a bunch of Sedans running around trying to bite me.
But like werewolves would match that.
Yeah.
In terms of the setting.
I definitely like the setting. Yeah. It will all depend on whether, like, how played out the medieval factor is on the zombies.
Yeah. So I'm trying to rationalize it in my head. Like now, if there were people that were infected by the virus, like okay, cool. But since when they have the cognition to like put on armor, does that mean they were being in like was it like a bunch of LARPers that got
no, there's a bunch
D-virus?
No, there's a bunch of like Templars out there like deities.
Well, because like, how else do you explain that they're in armor?
Just a bunch of holy crusaders trying to.
Because it wouldn't be like back in time, and on top of that, with the interesting idea that you're the same protagonist as you were in 7, like that's fucking weird. Like the only reason he got involved with the Bakers was because his girlfriend wandered in. Well, so how does he happen to wander in a fucking Knights?
Well, maybe instead of being trapped at the Baker house, he's trapped at a museum in the middle of Eastern Europe.
Why is he in Europe when he was in Louisiana in this one? Like, is his girlfriend that weird? She just keeps running off to his other place.
Maybe he just needed some space.
She did really stab him, and she's like, "Look, I'm gonna go on a Europe gap year and find myself."
Takes a Euro trip. Get some G virus.
Look, everyone gets a little bit of virus on their Euro trips, all right? This one's a bit more gnarly.
Is Sony no longer the competition? Enthusiast forums may be focused on the ongoing battle between Sony and Microsoft, but Xbox boss Phil Spencer sees Amazon and Google as its big competitors moving forwards. The talkative executive dropped the soundbite during an interview with Protocol in which he dismissed PlayStation's ability to implement a cloud-based infrastructure on par with Redmond's firm's Azure setup. When you talk about Nintendo and Sony, we have a ton of respect for them, but we see Amazon and Google as the main competitors moving forward. That's not to disrespect Nintendo and Sony, but the traditional gaming companies are somewhat out of position. I guess they could try to recreate Azure, but we've invested tens of billions of dollars in cloud over the years. Sony, of course, has signed a strategic partnership with Microsoft to leverage its servers and further develop cloud-based gaming solutions. Up until the introduction of Google Stadia last year, PlayStation Now was the only streaming option available on the market. Spencer, regardless, is thinking bigger than the traditional console wars. He continued, I don't want to be in a fight over format wars with Nintendo and Sony, while Amazon and Google are focusing on how to get gaming to 7 billion people around the world. Ultimately, that's the goal. One step at a time, Phil. One step at a time.
I'll let you take this initially.
Part of me agrees with him. I can see that with their recent move to releasing all their first-party stuff on their Games Pass, streaming it to as many people as possible, I can see why he would think that Stadia and Amazon are bigger competition to just getting their content out to the masses. Obviously, it makes no difference to us in Australia because no one supports us because we've got hot garbage internet. So for now, you know, the brick and mortar stores, the first parties making their own games, they're going to sell us digital copies, they're going to sell us physical copies, we're not going to be able to stream them. So for now, I think he's maybe a bit too soon to call this, but I can definitely see why with the likes of Stadia. I'm not sure Amazon actually have a game streaming service at the moment, do they?
Not yet, no. Oh, not at all, no.
But obviously, if their focus is to just get their content to as many people as possible, I can see how they might see Stadia and Amazon as more highly placed competitors than what Nintendo and Sony are.
I think he has made the right call here by seeing as how poorly Microsoft went with this generation, like being absolutely decimated by PlayStation. They've readjusted rather than being like, you know what, we'll do it again and we'll see if we can get them this time. Like, rather than sort of repeating that same race and possibly repeating the exact same failures, they've actually taken a business risk, which is amazing. Like, yeah, especially within this industry where there aren't risks. Like, we're about to talk about remakes and remasters. Like, that's a mitigating risk. So what he's done here, he's like, no, we're going to take a risk and we're going to do something different. We're going to fight different competitors. So all power to Phil Spencer and how he's sort of running Xbox at the moment, because it's ballsy, man. It's 100% ballsy. I think it's 100% the right call because it's going to either do two things. A, it's going to put them in their own market and they can dominate that market, because even though Google is entering it with the likes of Stadia, it's not even available here in this country, nor do we have the infrastructure to support it. Now, if this iCloud is as xCloud is as amazing as they say it is, then it may still run on the trash internet here, and that would be amazing. So they could be the only people within the market of Australia. So that will either force them in their own category. So then PlayStation succeeds over here, they succeed over here, everybody wins. Or as they move into the future, they start winning. Because that's what people want. Maybe not right now, but in a couple of years, because technology moves so fast, couple of years, maybe that's the future. So PlayStation then are like, shit, then they have to catch up. Yeah. So rather than continuing as the market follower, especially coming after this generation, they've positioned themselves to be a market leader in something else. It's actually incredibly smart.
Yeah, I think they've done really well with it, and like he pointed out, you know, Sony have yet to do any cloud-based stuff. They're using Microsoft's at the moment. Yeah,
well, they've agreed, because that's promising, man. If they're like, it's so good that we want to use it, and we are your competitor.
I hope it works out for them. I really do.
I really do. Even though I don't play Xbox as much, like, or at all, really, like Games Pass is an exceptional service. Like, there are some really strong things that are coming out of Microsoft, and I hope that this can allow them to do better and be bigger. And by creating your own little sub niche within a market that's already consisted of 3 big companies.
Yeah, the market's pretty saturated for them to move out and create their own little.
No, but I mean that it's in like, so as it stands, like there are 3 big competitors within the games console or space, and that's Nintendo, who they're always off in their own corner fighting their own fight. Where Nintendo and PlayStation have always been head to head.
I mean, I don't think Nintendo are fighting their own fight. They're just existing, and people are just buying their stuff.
Yeah,
because you have to buy Nintendo stuff to do Nintendo stuff.
Yeah. Pretty much what it is. So in time, this may mean, because if they want to connect to 7 billion people, that means at some point maybe Microsoft Xbox becomes a service rather than a console. So maybe we'll see, well, they've already got it on PC. There's a PC Xbox app, and then with the Play Anywhere, it kind of blows that line anyway. Next thing you know, we see Games Pass on Switch, which has already been pre-announced ish. And then maybe we'll see it on PlayStation. Yeah. Like we're, probably not a long time, but, when PlayStation finally realize that they are no longer competing against them in a console space, why not let them in? Yeah. Because if anything, they'll still get money out of it. People are still using PlayStation. Do you think that's the possible future of an Xbox service?
I can see them moving that way with how incredible Games Pass is at the moment. I can see them offering services. I think they're more interested in that you play their games, not how you play their games.
Well, because an example is I didn't put it in here, but the Outer Worlds. So Obsidian is the most recent game. They've since been purchased as a first party studio under Microsoft. They announced that they've shipped over 2 million copies of the game, and that's excluding the ones that were essentially quote unquote given away for free on Xbox. So the potential for what Xbox can deliver in terms of those exclusives and showing the success of the studio that they've now acquired, and because if you look at the numbers from what people played on Games Pass, like it's there. People want Games Pass. People want, I don't know what I just said, but like they want that, because using anecdotal evidence right now. So with my day job, all the predominant of our youth, all the youth in the clients, they all play Xbox. And I guarantee you it's because it's cheaper, because there's like 4 models of the thing for some reason, and their parents can pay $15 a month, get Games Pass, and they don't buy any games for them anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I pay for Games Pass. $15 a month is a bargain for essentially your gold plus 100 games to play every month. Like, when you stack that up against PlayStation Plus of $10 a month, and you get 2 games.
3 this month.
3 this month.
And 5. Well, actually 5, which you got mad about.
I got so mad.
Do we get mad about it right now? Get mad about it.
Why is it 2 launchable applications for the Bioshock collection? Why is there 2 applications? Can't you just put it all under one pretty little thing and then just be like, I want to play this one, or this one? Why does Bioshock Infinite have its own? Oh my! I was so angry. I nearly deleted it. I was so mad. I'm like, why is it downloading?
Why does it matter?
Well, for a start, it downloads the Bioshock collection twice in my download list. I'm like, hang on, why am I downloading it twice? And they're both equal size. I'm like, what's going on here?
If you add them together, how big is it?
It's like, I think each one was about 30-something gigs.
Oh, so that's tiny.
It's about 70 gig total.
Well, yeah, so I was like, well, maybe it's a size thing. Maybe they can't have it all under one. But, Red Dead, it's 120 gig or whatever. So it's not as if it's...
COD, 108.
Yeah.
Destiny, 102. GTA, close to 100. Right? Just put it under one. What do I need 2 applications for it?
You tell them.
It's dumb.
You tell them, Max.
Oh, bloody dumb. Despite all the delays, the Ubisoft games are still coming.
Yay!
Of the 5 games in question, we know for certain that Watch Dogs Legion, Gods and Monsters, and Rainbow Six Quarantine make up 3 of them. The same amount of titles are expected to release before the end of 2020, leaving 2 more to fill the gap between January and March next year. The thing is, we're not entirely sure which titles will fill those slots. Since Watch Dogs Legion and Gods and Monsters both originally had early 2020 release dates before delays, we think we're safe in saying that they make up 2 of the games launching this year. Assassin's Creed is more than likely to be the other, but that's just speculation for now. As noted by senior analyst Daniel Ahmad on Twitter, Ubisoft is expecting to support the next generation PS5 with high-def patches for its lineup of titles. The wording here is incredibly vague, so we wouldn't base too many of your thoughts and assumptions on what is said, but the statement would suggest that the publisher's games will be playable on Sony's next-gen system via backwards compatibility, alongside a patch to boost their visuals and performance. That is, instead of a native PS5 version. Kotaku's Jason Schreier has just tweeted out that 2 of Ubisoft titles currently unannounced are indeed the upcoming Assassin's Creed game and a new entry in the Far Cry franchise. We're pretty sure you're chuffed about that one, the Splinter Cell fans.
Yeah,
because they rehired the Splinter Cell, one of the Splinter Cell directors or writers.
Because when we just talked about last week before about the idea of like the 7 studio structure and like each of them are doing something and they have that creative head at each of them and they've rehired the guy that did Splinter Cell back in the day to man one of those studios.
He's not doing Splinter Cell.
Yeah, I guess not. Well, Far Cry though. Hell yeah, I love Far Cry.
Yeah, I enjoyed the last one. I enjoyed Far Cry 4?
5.
5?
I like 5. I love New Dawn.
5 was the one with the crazy family, yeah?
Yeah,
I enjoyed
New Dawn was
that.
the extension of that.
I haven't played New Dawn yet.
New Dawn was ripper, dude. Good multiplayer, actually. Really good multiplayer.
GTA 5? Oh, GTA 5. Far Cry 5 had really good multiplayer. I remember playing that with you.
Yeah. Oh, we did too.
Fun.
Yeah, it was good fun. Yeah.
I'm keen for some of these games. Obviously, Watch Dogs Legion is on my list.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we should really look at that.
And it got delayed. Piece of crap. I'm keen for Watch Dogs.
All right, while you talk, I'm going to find the book. I don't think I have a
with how the recent 2 Assassin's Creed games have gone more RPG-ish, really been digging those. Do I have the time to probably play something that size? No. I still haven't finished Odyssey because that game is bonkers long. Would I have liked a new Splinter Cell? Yes. Am I upset that it's not coming? Not really.
All right. Well, I'm sorry. I just had a quick look at our list, and the only one that's come out yet is Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. And
neither of us have played it.
Neither of us have played it. No, but we didn't look at the Metacritic, so remind me. I'll have a look at the end after this. I'm excited. I like Watch Dogs Legion. Looked like it really had potential.
I'm really looking forward to playing as an old grandma assassin.
Yeah, as I said, and I myself and many other people within the space of the internet have been like, I want a team of nanas. I'm like, I want a team of nanas. That's my team. But then on top of that, you've got the likes of Gods and Monsters, which it does look really impressive. It's not really within probably my potential warehouse from the trailers that we saw. It didn't really sort of win me over in that way.
Right up my alley.
However, it looks to be impressive. Beyond Good and Evil 2 at some point is still coming. I presume that'll be one of the 2021 ones. I don't see it coming out this year because I think they would preload that so hard.
I don't think that's coming out for a while.
Yeah.
I don't reckon that's coming out next year.
Yeah, but that'd be like 4 years, unless depending on how early they announced it, I suppose. Probably early, yeah. Oh, speaking of stuff from Ubisoft, E3 last year when they announced there was that TV series on Apple TV with Rob McElhenney from Always Sunny.
Oh yeah,
it's out now. Like the first episode's out. I gotta check it out. Because I saw it on like Twitter. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about you.
I'll leave the last news article because that's gonna play into our main topic.
Very true.
We'll hit some
quick bits.
Some quick bits. Sony Interactive Entertainment has filed applications to trademark PS5 in the US, UK, Australia, and New Zealand in the past week.
That just means it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. We're getting there.
Like it's. Days have passed, like that FFVIII event sure hasn't happened. But you went and checked out the...
Yeah, the Sony Hall is booked on the 29th of February. It's just listed as closed.
And there's one of them like in the early of March as well.
Yeah.
But they're mentioned with closed for a private event.
Would you want to launch it on the day of the leap year?
Well, see, that was my concern. I had a feeling that like when there's like, is it even a leap year this year? And like, No, it isn't. Like, oh, damn, Twitter got me again.
Despite Final Fantasy VII Remaster's delay, it will still remain a timed exclusive for 1 year.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about that.
Last of Us 2 voice actor and mocap artist took up archery to improve the sequel.
Yeah, you go, Ashley Johnson.
Platinum Games wants to self-publish Bayonetta.
Makes sense. So we're about to get Bayonetta and Vanquish like real soon. And there seems to be this real lock on Bayonetta because 2 and 3 were both published by Nintendo.
Yeah. So
they aren't going anywhere else.
Yeah.
So I understand that, moving forward that they would like to take it on themselves because Bayonetta is very popular and I reckon it's going to do pretty well when it comes to PS4 because it was on PS3 and I think it did pretty well there too. Obviously enough to grant 2 and a third. Have you ever played Bayonetta?
No.
Oh, it's really weird. Very, very sexual.
PS5 could be affected by coronavirus.
Yeah, it makes sense. If you when you manufacture everything in China, and I imagine some of those people might be eating bats on their lunch break. No, that's just speculation. Look, it's like 30,000 people have been affected in China currently. Granted, it's a very small percentage of the billion people who live in China, but I presume the quarantines and all those sort of things may in fact affect a lot of the production in that area. Yeah, apparently Nintendo are affected currently. I think Apple might be affected currently.
Yep.
Like I said, it's certainly a risk.
I mean, everyone does all their...
Yeah. Like, I do wonder whether it will be... Whether it will be a result, like, will it result in a long delay? Will we see it then push to 2020 or something like that? I don't believe so. I think they'll do the very best they can. It'll probably just have shortages at the start. In my pants. So your Dave says, I hate that you can't minimize Twitch on mobile to just listen. That is true.
You can if you run it through the Firefox web browser on Android or Apple. You can just turn your screen off and it'll still play.
Oh.
Fun fact.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Works for YouTube too.
Oh, sneaks like don't play that YouTube Premium dollars.
No.
I thought you were gonna be a guy and be like, "Well, Twitch Prime lets you do it." I'm like, "Oh,
no, I wouldn't know." I mean, I have Twitch Prime, but I wouldn't know. I never minimized my stuff. Ratchet and Clank, possible PS5 launch title.
Oh, it's happening. Yeah. So another and far superior PlayStation podcast. Sacred Symbols with Colin Moriarty. So he has extensive connections with the likes of Insomniac. And if you listen to his Patreon only show, Sacred Symbols Plus, he is very flippant and very just like unabashed about. He's like, oh yeah, no, Insomniac are doing this. He's like, and like multiple times he's just mentioned the likes of Bluepoint working on Dark Souls. not even, oh, I hear that like playing coy. He's like, no, they're working on Dark Souls. Demon Souls, sorry. And he's like, yeah, no, Insomniac are making Ratchet and Clank. So that's pretty awesome. And like, this is not the remake like the previous one. This is a brand new for PS5. He presumes launch. So he knows enough that it's real. Just when it comes out.
I'd be alright with a new Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the one that came out a couple of years back. So what are we laughing at over here?
Just the trouble that In My Pants goes to sub to YouTube Premium.
He goes, I sub for YouTube Premium via the Russian VPN to pay $2 per month. Damn, dude. That's sneak.
Download Firefox, you can do the same. Alright, shall we...
Yeah, man. So that's...
Dive into our main topic.
How does the transition go? I don't know, Josh normally does it. What's this one do?
We've informed the players. Let's dive into our...
Yeah, let's chat to the players. And this week we are talking about remakes and remasters. Now, this comes from one article specifically, and then we'll expand into why we found it.
So, Electronic Arts is no longer the only major third-party publisher planning to cash in on remasters, as Activision has now announced that it intends on launching a number of remastered titles and reimaginings of previous games in the future. This information comes as part of the company's latest earnings call, stating that these reveals are set to take place later in 2020. The immediate question then becomes, what games and franchises are making a comeback? Whatever they are, it appears we can be assured they'll be of high quality if Crash Bandicoot and Spyro are anything to go by. One possible contender is the return of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, which was rumored a few months back to already have remakes in the works. Meanwhile, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered is something that has supposedly been bumping around for years now.
So, This stemmed from the idea that if the PS5 is in fact backwards compatible, as they've been claiming, why would there be a necessity to remaster or remake games anymore? And then we've got the likes of Demon Souls from Bluepoint, rumored to be a launch title here. So PS5's already kicking off with a remake. So Max, as we head into this next generation, do you believe we will see more remasters, remakes, etc.?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I think they're easy to develop because the core work and design is already there. Like they don't have to recreate a new story.
That's a remaster. Oh, so do you mean like, as in a remaster, as in reskinning an old one, or
kind of like, I mean, look at what they did to Shadow of the Colossus.
That's remake.
Yeah. So I think the remakes and remasters will all come.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Unfortunately, I like in my pants. I'd be clean. I would be keen to play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. The only issue is the best part of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater were the soundtracks, and all those licenses are gone for all those musics.
But imagine Activision put that money in.
Can you imagine trying to get some of those songs?
You get it.
I mean, it makes sense for if Demon Souls is what Bluepoint's working on. To have a new version of that is good because obviously the servers have been shut down for quite some time now, and they did play quite a big part in that game. So being able to revive its online community is fantastic. I'm not opposed to them making money on our nostalgia. Sometimes I like playing old games, and old games look like butt these days. Would I prefer to play the new Final Fantasy VII or the old one? I want to play the new one. It's going to look way better. It's going to look way better.
Yeah.
It's sometimes it's hard to go back and play games that no matter how fond your memory is, when you put them in and you just want to vom, it kind of ruins the game for you.
It does. Look, I'm very similar to you on there. I do think we will see more of them. Like, great, super easy topic. There's your answer.
And I would imagine the turnaround on them is a little bit faster than developing a new IP.
Yeah, no, and that's 100%. Like, in terms of the reasons, it is kind of the exact same reasons the film industry are remaking movies or rebooting movies from back in the day or series, right? It's easy money. Like, this morning they announced that the Friends cast are coming together to redo some sort of reunion show, right?
Apparently they're doing more Gilmore Girls.
More Gilmore Girls.
Who's excited for that? This guy.
My wife. Oh man, she's. I don't watch more Gilmore. Fuck. No, I mean, like, so look. There's money. There's already an invested interest, right?
Yeah.
And at this point in time, we are getting enough new IPs or sequels to fill in the void. So by having these additional remakes, remasters, it's not negatively impacting the industry as much as you would expect. Like, companies aren't really shining away from new stuff for this. Well, especially in the likes of, some of the big guys, right? Activision, because once again, they are a publishing company. They aren't developers. They are in it for the dollars. And if they see dollars with remakes or reimaginings, that they're going to do it because they are always more dollar focused than creative focused. With the likes of EA, they're in that exact same bracket as well. So they'll just give you what you want because you'll pay for it. But as you said, like, there is the historian kind of way around this, right? So it creates the luxury of hand-picking games that were impressive or amazing back in the day, and then giving them a reskin, reboot, making them relevant. So these games that were already quote-unquote timeless are now even more timeless than they were before. Because if you go back, like, I really want to play Metal Gear Solid 1 again, but every time I boot it up, I get really grossed out, so I don't.
The only games that hold up are the old, like, 16-bit.
Yeah, so
pixel art.
That's 100%. So when the 3D era began with the 64 and the PlayStation, the early polygonal shit is gross. It is so rough to look at right now, so rough. But thankfully, as you mentioned, there's a framework that they can work off. There is a staggering less pre-production time to make these happen, and you can bring back stuff that people will love and give it another go. Like, an example, I have never played Resident Evil 2. I played the remake last year, and I fucking loved it.
I mean, the only concern is that if they make promises that they can't live up to.
Just like Warcraft 3 Reforged or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very different story, isn't it?
That's rough.
It's so bad. For context, though, for those that may not know, Warcraft 3 got its remastered version out last week. However, it is a massive problem.
I mean, they promised new voice acting. They promised new cutscenes. We still have the old cutscenes, old voice acting. Nothing's really changed. It looks a little bit prettier in-game.
Yeah, so BlizzCon a couple of years ago, they were like, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. There's all these things that we are going to do to make Warcraft 3 the game that you want it to be, right? Or the game that it should be. They delivered on none of that. Absolutely none of it. And then on top of that, they used with BlizzNet, they removed the support for the original Warcraft 3. Therefore, you must play this shoddy version. So understandably, people are really pissy. And on top of that, they the licensing agreement has altered, so there's no chance you can make Dota again.
Yeah.
It's brutal. Look, that is a concern as well. But saying that with the remakes and remasters we're probably going to start seeing now, we're going to be able to get things off locked hardware, right? Old stuff that we're never going to see ever again because on PS1, who has a working PS1, let alone the TV that could support it?
Yeah.
Like, there are so many steps between being able to play those games easily. And look, if it's a small cost for a positive result, then it's a win.
All right. 3 games. What 3 games do you want to see remastered?
Sure, it's been a long. So we have done this topic before, like Josh and I, like forever ago. Well, the easy one for me is obviously Metal Gear Solid is a big one because I really want to play that again. I would like to see Silent Hill done again because, you know, especially as we're doing now, with that looks to be in the works anyway, which is kind of an easy one. So I'll strip that one. My original pick was always Harvest Moon: Back to Nature because my favorite game of all time. However, with the likes of Stardew Valley, and I don't think that game would really fit within this world now because it's very much from time, and because that was the game that heavily influenced Stardew Valley, so there's no reason for it to exist alongside it. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater would be fantastic. I would love some more Tony Hawk. And if they were to do actually a remake or remaster that would then deliver all the maps from the previous games, maybe they do this big Tony Hawk 6. Because, like, the difficulty with those games is when you look at them now, they are small. You can finish 2 in 3 hours.
Oh yeah, imagine how much it would cost them to get some of the character models, because like Iron Man, Wolverine, they were all in Tony Hawk's games.
Well, that's because Neversoft had the license.
The guys from Kiss.
Yeah,
like,
that part's not happening.
That got so forward.
But it would have to be some sort of collection, a remake, remaster collection is what we would need to see. That's the only way they would be able to deliver what people want, because then you're not getting this subpar small amount. Like, people remember putting hours and hours and hours and hours and hours into these Tony Hawk games, because that when we were young, that's what we had, and now we made do with what we had. These days, that wouldn't fly. And there is already a bad taste in them in everyone's mouth with the likes of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5.
Oh, that was horrible.
It was bad. It was so bad. And they redid Tony Hawk's Pro Skater in HD a couple of years ago. It was on PS3. I think it's on PS4 as well. It didn't deliver. I do also think that as a industry, I think it's certainly progressed past what Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was. So I would like to see that would need to be a remake, because they would need to change some of that game to make it land.
Paul James wants remaster Shane Warne Cricket 99.
Of course he does. And of course, Final Fantasy VII remake style treatment for Final Fantasy IX.
I would like to see Simpsons Hit and Run.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Would love to see that.
But once again, would they then have to bring in things from additional seasons since that game was released on PS2?
I just want the same game. Just give it to me on current gen consoles. The exact same game. Don't change anything. I don't even need upgraded graphics. Just give me the same game. I'll play it in like 6.9. Like, I don't care. Second Sight from PS2.
Was it sorry? Clonus, I'd like to see Second Sight from the PS2 remade, and he also mentioned it would need a big overhaul about Harvest Moon as well.
Yeah, see, keeping the original soundtracks on games is hard because a lot of the music licenses have probably run out by
Big
now.
time, because back then those agreements lasted for the disc, right? And they didn't allow for the digital future. And the exact same way as GTA 4, like some of the songs are on there, you can no longer play, you can no longer get because they got patched out.
Yeah.
Same goes for GTA 5. There are songs in GTA 5 that have since been patched out. Because at the time, this the 10-year license of the song potentially for GTA didn't realize GTA 5 would live longer than that.
I'm just waiting for them to patch in the Spotify radio option, and I can just listen to my Spotify.
I had a look.
playlist.
I went hunting for a mod on for PC. It doesn't really exist. Just gonna go play it in the background.
You just open Spotify. In
Yeah.
the background. Yeah.
Because I wanted to be into the game, so then I could like turn off the radio and it would turn off the music if I needed to for some reason.
Yeah, fair enough.
I wanted that integration, but that's a hot mess for like videos and that sort of stuff as well. So what was that? So what was your sorry?
So Simpsons Hit and Run. My other big one would be Jet Set Radio Future, but I believe it's a Sega title. So who knows where that would go these days?
Well, it would go everywhere.
And what would I want for my last one? Legacy of Kain Collection. Yeah, Iclonus. Legacy of Kain Collection. That'd actually be sick.
That's one of the ones that had the most demand actually.
Same with your Legends of Dragoon.
Well, once again, Bluepoint have been hinting the bumhole about Dragoon.
Playing those on PCs. Yeah, like we both said, the quick turnarounds on selling points on nostalgia just make them easy. Everyone will buy them. I mean, I bought both the Spyro collection, the Crash Bandicoot collection.
Same.
Now, they did play a little bit differently. The physics were slightly jank, but you get used to it.
I think it's a great stopgap between big games as we accidentally play footsies. The problem that we have now is games have that longer dev cycle than they ever have before. So previously it was 3 years perhaps. Now we're getting 5+ years. So that they do need to release things in between in order to keep that going, to keep that money coming in. And if they can have a smaller expenditure to help fill that in between time. So as an example, like Activision, probably a bad example because I have Call of Duty every year. Use PlayStation as an example.
I mean, to be fair, they do have Call of Duties every year, but there's also 3 developers working on it.
That is very true. So yeah, but outside of that, what are they really producing on consoles right now? Not a whole lot. No. There's a couple of games that might sneak in. So they have that yearly thing, but they, granted, Call of Duty makes money all year round. So it's kind of a bad example, but so it goes out in October, November. What are they going to do in June? Presumably there's a down in June, right? Like, let's just say everyone's bought it over Christmas. There's not a whole, how do we re-pump up our financials? Let's put out a remake or a remaster in the middle of the year. It doesn't take away from the big games that they have planning. It's just a nice point of contention in the middle. It's good. Paul also adds, I'm calling bullshit on Demon Souls. It's Legends of Dragoon only because fuck Souls games.
Souls games are the best.
Iclonus, these older games were different with how they're structured. Remember that COD was split between 3. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, that's what you said. But the point I made, the point was that is their staple. That is their big tentpole staple that'll come out that year. Same as EA. EA, their big tentpole is FIFA. It's not even NBA anymore. It's just FIFA, really.
Sports games.
It's just FIFA. So granted, they're going to make a ton of money on FIFA, but how do they supplement that income? And they just release something here.
They sell you virtual players.
That's very, very true. Same goes with PlayStation, right? Like, as it stands right now, it was a quiet window of time as we approach PS5. They weren't releasing a whole bunch of first-party stuff, so they drop in like Medieval in there, and I'm sure that made some quick bucks. Smart call. It's a very smart call. And if they'll then to the remaster, the difficulty I think comes down to will they be remastering stuff from PS4 to PS5 with this backwards compatibility? I don't think they will. They'll probably have patches or purchasable packs that kind of up it a little bit.
I honestly hope it's not a purchasable texture pack. I really hope it's you own this game. Here are the patches for free because you have the stronger console now.
Yeah. You think it'll be free?
I can see them going away with. It's not going to be... They're no longer going to print PS4 discs and PS5 discs. They're just going to print PlayStation discs.
Makes sense.
And you'll just throw it in whatever console you have.
Yeah, no, that makes sense moving forward, but I'm talking about games that are already out.
Yeah, I'm hoping free patches. Like, if they make me pay some dollary dues, like, that's going to be shit.
That would be pretty poo. If it's like $5, I'm not going to give a shit. But anyways, look, this is down the line. This is in the future. Those games, who knows what's going to happen to them. So let us know what you think of remakes, remasters. Remember the back in for the longest time, the discussion was remakes are ruining the industry, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's certainly ruining the movie industry. That is unquestionable.
They allow the publishers to make a quick dollar, which allows them to potentially publish something else that they might not have been able to do.
And there's like studios like Bluepoint, that's the only thing they do. And that is awesome. And PlayStation really need to buy them, like now.
Yeah, Bluepoint have done some bangers.
They have done some absolutely killer stuff. But look, as I said, these games, who knows when they're coming out? Could be ages away. Let's get into the games that are coming out this week in a section we call Coming to the Players.
So, new PlayStation games for February 11th and onwards. Again, the caveat is this is the US drop. Dates may change. Games may not come out at all for us.
Woohoo.
Woohoo. The Adventures of Double O Dilly.
What's with these fucking O games? It's the third week in a row we had like quadruple zero plus. Like, ooh, what the hell?
This actually looks pretty rad. The ultimate crash test dummy comes to life. Help Dilly show off his skills while shooting him across the Grand Canyon with strange devices.
I'm in.
AO Tennis 2, PS4 Digital.
Game is already available physical, so I guess it's coming. Getting its.
Azure Lane, Crosswave, PS4 Digital, out February 13th.
That's like some weeb shit. Hey, they've corrected it. Dude, like, look, so on the drop, and rather than having it read as, 2/14,
they're just saying Feb 14.
It just says Feb 14 now.
Darksiders Genesis.
I can only presume that they have noticed the abundance of podcasts that are coming out from non-American countries. And they're like, man, there seems to be having a lot of complaints about this. So shout out to the likes of myself. Shout out to the likes of Operation PlayStation. Shout out to the likes of Plat Explosion and all the other shows that are out there in the wild that are not from America. We've made some change today. We made some change.
Yeah, I think AO Tennis came out about a week ago for us.
Oh, okay, make Australian Open. It makes sense, right? Paul James said, yeah, AO Tennis was out here digitally too. It's just the overseas didn't get it. We did. We made change, Dash. We 100% did. Whether we mean it or we didn't, we can take it. We can take that claim. The shows like us made the drop change, made the date be legible.
Maybe they just got sick of us fucking it up.
Probably that too.
Yeah, Darksiders Genesis, PS4 Digital, out Feb 14.
Give that a read.
Darksiders Genesis tears its way through hell and back with guns blazing and swords swinging. Genesis gives the first look at the world of Darksiders before the events of the original game. Furthermore, it introduces the fourth and last horseman, Strife, as well as co-op gameplay for the first time in the history of the franchise.
So, good friend of the show, Paul James, has played this. I've spoken to him about it. He's really stoked about it. Loves it.
Is it still a Zelda game like the rest of them?
No, I think it's completely different. It'd be very cool.
Is it still like Metroidvania?
Dash one show in already changed. And that's a collective change, man. You were just the last thing. And,
I'm keen to play it too, Paul James. Keen to play it. Dreams, PS4 Digital, out February 14. If you can dream it, you can play it. Explore and play in the ever-expanding Dreamverse, bursting with games, music, art, and everything in between and beyond. Learn how to design your own games, animate, make music, and more with easy-to-follow tutorial videos, and then share your ideas in an online social network of creativity.
Yeah, we're playing it.
Yeah, we're going to be able to stream it. We're going to like walk into like a dick forest or something.
Oh, dude, I'll only stream it if there is a dick forest. Paul goes, I think more like Lara Croft spin-offs, like the Go and whatever.
Okay.
Not Go, like whatever that illusion of the whatever the fuck. Like that 2.5D sort of setup.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a fucking horrifying picture.
Glass Masquerade 2, Illusions, PS4 Digital.
Bunch of clowns.
Hidden, PS4 Digital, out February 13th. Mosaic, PS4 digital. Pawarumi, PS4 digital. Project Starship, PS4 digital. Reed remastered, PS4, PS Vita digital.
Fucking
cross-buy.
remasters, I tell ya.
Saboteur.
Saboteur!
2, Avenging Angel, PS4 digital, out February 14.
Didn't the first Saboteur just come out? It was like a must be about like 2 weeks ago.
Spaceland, PS4 digital, out Feb 14. Underhero, PS4 digital. The Unicorn Princess,
Fucking
PS4 digital.
game of the year.
Yakuza 3 remastered.
No, I meant Unicorn.
Yakuza 3 remastered, PS4 digital. Yakuza 5 remastered, PS4 digital. What happened to Yakuza 4? And that's it for the draw.
Where's Yakuza 4 at?
Yeah, 3 and 5 get remastered. Like, fuck Yakuza 4.
Four sucked.
That's it.
Yeah, man. Look, I think Dreams probably the big standout, especially for PlayStation fans.
Dreams and Genesis.
And Darksiders are probably the big two this week.
And maybe AO Tennis if you're a...
If you're from international and you like tennis for some reason.
Man, some of the tennis games used to be banging.
There was one on Sega. There was a Sega one that was like a banger, like Virtua Tennis.
I don't know. I remember Topspin. Topspin was a pretty good...
That one was alright.
Was a pretty good tennis game.
Yeah, good times.
So this PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Spotify, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join in that PlayStation conversation, head on over to our Facebook, our Discord, Twitter, Instagram, all the links in the description below.
If you want to join that PlayStation conversation as it happens, just like some handful of awesome people like Dash, like Padge, like Iclonus, like Fluffman Dingus, who once again, thank you for the sub. You head over to twitch.tv/thepopculturist. Give us a follow. You'll get notifications where you watch us record not just this show, but as well as our other show, our wrestling show, The Young and the Wrestlers. If you want to support us in a financial setup, head over to patreon.com/thepopculturist. Support us there. Any dollar value. It's up to you. There's no rewards. It's just how kind you want to be. If you want to support us in more one-stop fashion, head over to popculturist.com/shop. We buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. While we are here on Twitch, we do also play games occasionally. Thursdays, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Time. Hopefully this week, Max and I will finally get to push those trophies on Tools Up. I reckon we can get a plant in that sesh. Might have to chip off a couple before we get in, just to make sure we're ready and good to go. But I think we can get there.
Too easy.
I think we can. Well, something else I wanted to add too. Yeah, that's right. If you are listening to us on your podcast services and you've made it all the way to the end here, holy shit, by the way. I hope you like it. If not, you've just hurt yourself for an hour and a bit. But make sure to give us 5-star ratings, reviews, all those sort of things. Tell your friends about us. The competition is harder than ever right now in the Australian PlayStation podcast market. We need all the help we can get, even though they are like all my friends. It's still a tough business out there. It's very cutthroat. And I could
it's hard when everyone's coming in stealing your lunch, isn't it?
It is.
Dash is just coming in, punching you, stealing your lunch money.
See, the worst part is, we had the idea. It's not a brand new idea by any fucking stretch of imagination. We had the idea shortly after PS I Love You died the first time. Then
died the first time.
Yeah, died the first time. Then Josh and I were like, we're gonna do this. But then we did 3 unaired pilots because we wanted it to be tight, so we didn't release straight away. In that downtime, while we were honing the show and doing our practices, Platinum Explosion came in. So they're ahead of us by a couple of weeks, but only from release. Well, we technically started making them earlier. So then it's been they and us just sort of like head bashing for a little while. And then I don't think there's any other Australian shows. I went hunting and couldn't find any. And then out comes Dash and Padge with their big old dicks, come out and in one day just decimate us both.
Yeah.
There's always room for at least 2 shows. Operation PlayStation and us, I guess. Or Operation PlayStation and Platt, I guess. Or, I don't know, you pick your combination as long as we're a part of it. I don't give a shit. But until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And that was For the Players. For the players, the Pop Culturist PlayStation podcast is fan-supported at patreon.com/thepopculturist. And we'd like to thank our Patreon producers and our Patreon founders for their kindness, their support, and their generosity. Our Patreon founders: Alpha Ferret, Craig O'Flaherty, David Chataway, Jesse Stevenson, and Jacob Garner. And our Patreon producers: AJ Abatomi, Damien Holdies, Carl Dunn, Lee Wintershoven, Nathan Massetti, Paul James, Pure Mongrel, and Sean Levitt.